Episode 9 of The Rookie Season 8 shows that everything is fun and games until a romance breaks down. I have a grievance against the rookie. However, we must first discuss the ridiculousness of this crossover scenario and a few odd examples, such as a pair who are bonded to one another. Nobody can ever claim that this series lacks a sense of humor. Poor people's issues in every situation. The robber's angle was the most intriguing, and the rookie juggled. More than half of the country is struggling with debt. If it's not medical debt, it's all those damn student loans and the like. Imagine being admitted to one of the nation's top universities, Stanford, and had to turn to armed robbery in order to escape all of that debt. You may attend an Ivy League school, earn a degree in something really amazing, and yet live paycheck to paycheck for half of your life in an attempt to pay off a mountain of debt. America is magnificent, isn't it? The revelation that Maeve, the grandmother, was the one with the rap sheet who encouraged her granddaughter and her partner to stick up the home was the most intriguing aspect. The conclusion was also quite depressing. However, she at least parted ways with the other person. I also thought Miles did a great job during his grilling. Miles and Harper are the perfect pair. It's not really enjoyable to see our dynamic pair of Harper and Lopez apart, and the relegation might be awful for Harper. After all, they resemble Cagney and Lacey in the 21st century. I can't say enough good things about Bradford and Nolan, but Harper has always been a great mentor and TO. And that's just being honest. It was hilarious how Harper silenced them both when they offered advice on how to deal with Miles. Harper has the ability to help Miles become the police officer we all know he can be. Even though she forbade him from referring to her as Boot, her strategy of pretending to be that way for the day was a brilliant one. As a police officer who would eventually instruct someone else, it gave her a chance to observe the raw material for him. In addition, Miles's confidence was completely destroyed by all of his previous problems. A police officer who lacks confidence and constantly questions his actions puts himself, his partner, and the public at risk. It seems like we were getting glimpses of Miles's acting prowess with Harper, and I'm actually excited for them to collaborate more. He only needs some rounding out because he has all the necessary abilities to be an excellent police officer. Harper is able to assist him. And I will shout from the rooftops how much I adore the Gila/Lopez family. The party that Angela, James, and Wesley threw for her was the cutest, and considering they were all exhausted parents and everything, I laughed when they finished in an hour. The crossover was what it was. I apologize to anyone who were searching for more information, but I have no knowledge of Dropout or Game Changer, thus this was not the kind of crossover that would help me. Depending on the situation and when they occurred, the improv moments may be both annoying and entertaining. A few of the lineup jokes were funny. However, I wasn't particularly fond of it for the most part. Dash's return was more fun, and I hope he stays and either gets into some trouble or even helps Nolan out. In that sense, the child is good. Fun group chat. Bless her heart, despite her best efforts, Lucy is unable to keep their personal and professional lives apart. However, I could see why she felt caught between Tim and his mother. Even yet, I thought it was great that Tim told her straight out that she shouldn't be in the center. It's refreshing that he was able to convey that it's not her problem without one of those annoying plot twists where one or both parties exploit Lucy, use her as a buffer, or do something else to communicate with each other. Lucy's increased sense of kinship with Tim's family is pleasant. She even has a group chat with his mother and sister. I also appreciate that those connections are not limited to her relationship with Tim. That's significant, but it also closes a gap because we don't learn much about Lucy and her own family. It's difficult not to think of family and her current feelings after listening to her discuss her parents while she and Nyla were undercover. Both personally and professionally, she is in a terrific place. However, it was encouraging to learn that Tim did, in fact, call his mother back and have in-depth discussions regarding the matter at hand. They were able to have conversations that they had just avoided throughout the years because Lucy, in a sense, brought them closer. I'm glad Tim's mother is finally beginning to cultivate the relationship with him that she has always desired because we already know that's what she wanted. Chinford is truly living in their own time. However, Bylon was indeed there. By the way, by discussing why Bailey is bothersome or why Bylon ought to give it up already, we're pounding a blasted horse into oblivion. It doesn't require repetition. However, it made natural that they, rather than Luna and Gray, would be the ones to witness a marriage suffer a devastating blow and begin to falter. The whole Luna and Gray thing simply keeps getting worse. Every time we see Luna at that fucking hospital, she's getting too close to people and laughing with some attractive doctor. She now has the attractive Charles Michael Davis portraying one of her co-workers. Yes, I'm inclined to call him Marcel. She also feels something for him. I dislike Luna's emotional affair. Luna was going to keep quiet about her casual emotional affair at work since she thought it was something she needed to work through. However, the chemistry between her and Oliver was seen to people in a very distant galaxy. She also left a freaking flower in her car along with his glasses. That is not just insulting but also careless. When you're moving like you're having a full-fledged affair, how can you try to work things out without informing your husband about it? It never appeared like Luna would be the kind to have an emotional affair and harm Gray in this way, nor did she ever appear to be so conceited and self-centered. She was unable to reassure him and didn't even appear to be apologetic about her feelings. She performed the thing where she threw objects at him and deflected at one of their final tense moments. I'm not sure who this Luna is, but I don't like it. Furthermore, they had no justification for interfering with such a stable relationship. Rookie fanatics, it's your turn. Please share your opinions below. In the Monday, March 2nd, episode of the ABC drama, The Rookie meets Dropout's game changer, and for one of the couples on the show, the humor serves as a pleasant counterpoint to the drama. Nolan, Nathan Fillion, meets someone from his past during that crossover. In the meantime, guest performers Tyler Ritter and Charles Michael Davis portray a doctor at the hospital with Gray's, Richard T. Jones, wife, Luna, Angel Parker, and a suspect whose innocence is established in that case, respectively. The Rookie Season 8 Episode 9 spoilers are ahead. Let's begin with the devastating. When Oliver Ashton Davis, a new physician at the hospital, walks in with Luna, Gray notices right away how well they get along. Even worse, he discovers a rose and men's sunglasses as he enters Luna's vehicle to take it to the mechanic. He confides in Nolan about it, and the officer says he's sure it doesn't mean anything. But to Gray, it seems like something. He is told by Nolan that he can either snoop or talk to his wife, and he suggests the former. When Gray visits the hospital to ostensibly do that over lunch, she first sees Oliver and Luna laughing together before becoming incredibly attached to a few patients. Oliver is working on them when Gray asks him about the sunglasses. Gray tells the doctor he found them in the hallway, and the doctor claims they are his. Later, Luna inquires about his well-being as they leave the hospital, and Gray inquires as to whether there is a problem between her and Oliver. She initially seems a little defensive when he shares the upshot he discovered, claiming nothing has happened, but she does feel sympathy for him. She emphasizes that she wasn't searching for it and that she didn't think about anybody else during their marriage, but that in the last year, her world has opened up because she finished school and found employment. She admits that she is drawn to Oliver, but she didn't intend to act on it and might have resolved the issue without his ever realizing. He acknowledges, "I do know, it's breaking my heart." Oliver leaves because she is unable to tell him right away that whatever she is feeling is over for him. Then, from the hotel bar where he will be staying, Gray calls Nolan to inform him that he and Luna are in a difficult situation and that he is unsure about their future. After taking some time to appreciate that Jenna Dewan's Bailey is back from Washington, D.C., Nolan goes to join him. Sam Reich, Vic Michaelis, Jacob Wysocki, Zach Oyama, and Anna Garcia appear in the Game Changer crossover as people who were there when two men robbed them at gunpoint. And as they make their statements to Nolan and Selena, Lee Seth Chavez, they heavily lean into the improv humor. However, a familiar face, Beckett Hawley, the child whose drone Nyla, Mikia Cox, utilized when Oscar, Matthew Glave, abducted Nolan in the Season 7 finale, assists them in cracking the case. After he and his mother relocated to Los Angeles so she could work as a hand model, he secured a part-time position with them. He is the one who discovers Mark's, Ritter, wallet there, and Mark's girlfriend attests to his alibi. Additionally, He is the one who shows Nolan the text that solves the case after everyone leaves him at the police station. When he drives them there for the lineup, Sam unintentionally messages him, not the robbers, that they weren't intended to steal anything for real. When Nolan interrogates Sam, he reveals that he was attempting to recruit actors to portray robbers for a stunt for the show and unintentionally obtained actual thieves. Additionally, Tim, Eric Winter, is still trying to improve his connection with his mother, and Lucy, Melissa O'Neill, is encouraging him to do so as his mother frequently texts their group chat. He silenced it. Ultimately, the mother and son have a lengthy phone call during which they discuss not only that but also his job, his early years, and Lucy. Oh, and Lucy is currently in a group chat with two people who have old Tim pictures, his mother and his sister. Yes, he will locate his prom attire in powder blue for her. How did you feel about the Rookie's most recent episode? What are your thoughts on the situation involving Gray and Luna? Tell us in the space provided for comments below.